Hey guys, how are you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is our evening Bitcoin wrap up. So straight over to the charts there. So yeah, we'll look at our DMT and Dominator first. So DMT still clearly in the sell trade. Sell line coming down a bit around 9,300, which pretty much makes sense. I think brink a break over about 9,300. We could then be looking for some upside. Dominator took a sell on this candle here. So definitely was a pretty good sell. Had a nice move down from there. Currently working our way back up, but yeah, it was a good sell initially. We had a buy trade here that didn't work out. Did not work out too well at all. That would have been a stop out. And then we were flip-flopping around here between sell and buy trades. A buy trade that did work up a little bit quite nicely, and then a great sell trade just here that worked out really well for us. So over to the range and stop. Yeah, you can obviously we've had a bit of a breakdown in the range and stop. You can see we moved down there, have been staying in this pretty constant level here for quite a while, which is why I wasn't really too bothered about taking positions, because I knew that I'm not really going to have a good read on the medium time frame with this larger time frame Dominator. As you can see, it's just flopping between buy and sell whilst we're not really going anywhere. So no real good read though. But we are now getting what looks to be like a bearish trend developing that we probably can trust. So I'll potentially be looking to take the next short trade once we get a short signal on here. We did actually get a very good sell trade on here. One thing that I am looking into is when I know that we don't have a good overall trend, I will be looking basically to trade long and short on this shorter time frame one, because I can no longer look to the larger time frame, but I then do want to catch the move out of basically the tight zone we're in, which this would have got us perfectly. It would have got us a selling here around not far off 9,300 around lunchtime today. And I mean, as you can see, it was literally all down from there, straight down about 5%, nearly 5%. And so far as going offside in the position, I mean, we literally didn't, it didn't even move. It basically didn't even move. It moved about 0.1% offside and then 5% onside. So yeah, it would have been a great trade. Obviously, we would have taken a buy here, which we could have got some profit out of, or we could have broke even on the trade. However, we decided to play it, and then the sell here. That would have lost us a little bit of money, especially when we went buy, we would have made that little bit back. But what we were playing for was being in the trade when we did have the big breakdown, which we then clearly were. So that is another way I'm looking at the strategy when we're basically not at a level that I kind of not at sort of like a strength indicator level of the momentum being in the buy or sell direction. So when we are just basically trading this smaller time frame. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at in that. But yeah, as far as range of stop's concerned, but yeah, we struggled basically at the bottom of the range. This is sort of the area that you would expect us to bounce up from. So when we're not getting a bounce and we're hugging the bottom of this range and stop larger time frame trend line, whilst we're hugging it, and we become more likely we're going to break through. Obviously, we're hugging the top here, as you could see, so there was the potential for a nice breakout if we got above. But you can just see how perfect the range and stop works. This line had obviously been here since all the way along here, the larger time frame, and look, we were just getting fully rejected from it. So it just shows to how good this indicator is, how good it is at telling you what the actual range is. So then when we didn't break up, we came back down, we came in, literally tested through the bottom, sort of sat at the bottom and then broke it. And then this is obviously now the new bottom range that we've got going on. So we're in the mid range, so we'll expect to play a range between like around 8,860 and 9,130, and we've got to basically work out whether we're going to break up or down out of there. So I imagine we'll get some action when CME is open. I think CME is closed about 9,100 and something, so we'll have a bit of a gap to the upside, so maybe we'll work our way up. I mean, it's only around here and then come down. I mean, we'll see what happens. Let's have a look at our ranges. So yeah, 4 hour, so we sort of got like the fake out and hold above was looking really good. and then we got like pretty solidly rejected. So that was a pretty obvious sell signal, though. Once we did break back under basically this support level, and it's just a full rejection. You can look at the moving average analysis. We could see we actually have what is the perfect consensus. I think it's what Tyler Jenks calls consensio. Maybe not on this time frame, but when we have basically these averages, moving averages in this formation, so we've got the fastest, medium and the longest term, so we are showing that we are in a downtrend, and they are all pointing downwards as well, so the slope analysis is downwards too. This is just very bearish, guys. This is just very bearish on this time frame. Obviously, especially the moving averages might be different on the other time frame, but this on this time frame is looking very bearish, and it obviously did play out. These moving averages were proving formidable overhead resistance for the price too, and yeah, we just weren't having it. We just weren't holding above here. So we are at a critical zone though, as you guys know. We've been talking about it. This is the low that I think is well, pretty catastrophic for the BTC price, because that will basically mean that this wasn't a higher low. We got very close to it there, didn't quite take it out, but it's looking bearish. I mean, this is getting to the point now in the trend. Obviously, you guys know that I was pretty bullish, but I'm a realist. Like I told you, I was looking at price action, and price action was still looking bullish. On this time frame, at least, this is starting to look like we are going to test some downside now. This is what I think. We had our opportunity to break up and hold up, and we didn't make it. I mean, the line in the sand really is probably going to be this low here. So let's say if we break under 8,800, the actual support level is only around 8,600, $200 away. I think this will trigger a lot of stops. This will get us to this support line. I think we'll likely break through here, but if we don't, obviously we could bounce off there and then play this range out and then maybe come down. I don't think the most likely scenario at the moment would be for us to bounce off here and go back up. I think it will be to quite possibly make our way down to basically one of these supports really, and then ideally have another pop at the resistance overhead. We'll build our way up. I mean, we don't really want to be testing the bottom of the pennant, but that will be on the cards up until the point we then got a confirmed bottom and we start going up. We'll have a look at the daily, see what the daily is looking like. So you can see if we draw the I've not had this drawn in, but I will try and draw it now in basically what I think is quite possibly a best fit format, and you guys will probably be able to see where I'm going with this. We look like we're basically broken it. That's what I'm trying to say. Now that's looking like it's level. We got the wicks there, we got all that action, and it looks like we're through this, guys. So that this trend line not being intact, I'm not comfortable at all as a bull. I'm not comfortable having a bullish bias now that we're through that. So I would be looking, yeah, I mean this is how you trade, guys. I mean, you guys have been watching my videos, you know I've been pretty bullish. Price action has been telling me everything's bullish, everything's fine, but that's just what it was telling me at that time, and now I have new information. So the Bayesian inference model has to sort of kick in. I have new information that I need to take into account. So we're making these lows. We're nearly taking out this low here that we were working on as a higher low, and yeah, so, and we look like we've lost this trend line support too. So this may be just a fake out underneath it, and we'll come back pretty quickly, but we'll have to see. I mean, we may get a close of the CME gap, which will get us back probably above this trend line. But I mean, will we hold, or will we go up, or what will happen? We'll have to see. Daily Stokes, not looking as bad as it can be though. They're sort of neutral now. RSI, it is sloping down. RSI isn't looking the best on the daily. And then the moving averages, again, we were talking about, well, firstly we've got the importance of being held up by the 21, which we lost and is now downward sloping. And then we look to the next one to catch us. Our next line of defense, being the 50 period moving average, which we have tested and which has been pretty significant for price action. but as you can see, we're sort of losing the 50 now. It's not fully gone, we've not fully lost it, but I mean, if we trade sideways in this area, we'll obviously lose it. And then we will also get this cross between the 21 and the 52, the 21 and the 50 moving average. The 52, not the 52 moving, not the 52 period moving average, just the 50 moving average as well. They're the ones that will cross. So 12 hours, see what 12 hour Stokes are doing. Yeah, 12 hour Stokes were starting to look like they could turn around and get us back up. But look, we're just doing a similar thing that I spoke about. Well, when we were around here, I was like, we can just come down a bit, cross back over and hang around this high bullish zone. But it looks like we could be doing the same now, working our way down to this bearish zone. So yeah, let's see if we can see anything else on the hourly. Anything interesting? No, not much going on really here that we can analyze. Yeah, so back over to the daily. We'll have a look at the weekly actually, because this candle is closing in 3 hours. So we'll get a good look. And yeah, it's not the greatest looking candle. This will be the first sort of non-doji candle if we close around here or lower. Like obviously this is a doji candle and is a red candle, but I mean this is our first proper red candle in this entire move up. So yeah, I mean there's not, obviously we do get these candles in move ups, but I mean yeah, at such macro resistance being rejected, you have to lean on the side of bearishness. Basically you just have to lean on the side of, we're just going to wait till we find support, turn around and start to come back up, and we'll know it when we see it. We can't predict where it'll be beforehand. We hope. I mean looking at the weekly, it would be incredibly healthy for it to be around this mid to low 7,000 level, and then you can probably see where I'm going to go with this. Look at that head and shoulders, the pattern that we'll have forming, a head and shoulders pattern forming that could potentially absolutely catapult us through this resistance. Because just look at the size of that basically. And we have had big head and shoulders play out in Bitcoin before, including what, if we look on a daily time frame, including this one was. This was a full play out of a head and shoulders. See if we can get it up so I can show you guys. Yeah, so here you've got the shoulder, the head, the shoulder, then the breakdown, and yeah, I mean there it is there. So we do know Bitcoin likes these head and shoulders formations. So we were looking at a weekly, weren't we? And this isn't a weekly time frame, guys. So this would be huge. This would be. So yeah, I mean immediate time frame trend. I mean, I am leaning to it's more bearish now. But like macro, I mean, not that I do try and look at these patterns this far forwards. I'm just thinking. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking out loud, just looking at larger time frame, looking at possibilities, and that would be a good outcome for Bitcoin, because that would give us a strength. That would basically give us the ability to fly up. I mean, I'm a bit concerned. I have said I'm a bit concerned about can we break all the way up from coming up straight up from there. I mean, the same as we couldn't there. We're going to break up the same all the way from just coming straight from the bottom of the pennant to the top. I mean, it is possible, but maybe we need to consolidate around the middle of the pennant and then break through, much the same way we did here, and we still didn't manage it. So maybe we got to put in this big head and shoulders, which will put us in, which is not, come on, it's August. It may even come beforehand, but yeah, around August time, September could be when it plays out, and then we'll get the massive bust up then. So I do know other mainstream analysts, not that anyone's mainstream in Bitcoin, but other big analysts in Bitcoin are saying they think we'll play around this area for the rest of the year. So yeah, maybe they are right. Maybe that's what we're going to paint in the charts, that head and shoulders, inverted, sorry, head and shoulders. And then use that to give us the momentum to bust up. So let's have a look at the TD sequential, see what we've got going on. We're looking at the weekly. Weeklies obviously we're still going to be on this same sort of count. So yeah, we can pretty much put in a weekly 9. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't put in a lot of weekly 9s. We'll put it that way. We'll get that out there. We don't really put many weekly 9s, so we don't really know how well we're gonna well we're going to react to have weekly 9s. I think, like I said, with it being bearish, I think it would be unlikely would hang around here for another 2 weeks to manage to get a weekly 9. I don't think that's likely. I think we're going to come back down beforehand. But let's have we did have a recent 5-day 9. And if you look at this, 5-day 9's playing out quite well. Yeah, I mean, look at this. 9 here, 9 there, 9 there, 9 there, 9 there that didn't play out. Yeah, I've got a 9 up here as well. Look, there's the 9, and a 9 there, a 9 there on that low. So I would actually look for 5-day 9s rather than weekly 9s, and there it is. So, and I did know this was there. At this point, we had a 5-day, 2-day, and a 1-day 9. I mean, we can look at that 2-day. This is what I've got. This is here. It is the 2-day 9 as well. 2-day 9 playing out. I mean, these nines are substantial for price action. So, yeah, just another. I mean, whilst we were trading higher, it looked like we could break up. I obviously have to sort of ignore the 9 because it's only really confirmed once we start to actually break down, as signaling the end of the trend. Just the downward trend will be confirmed once we start trending downwards. I mean, it's a bit of an oxymoron there, but hey. But yeah, so we do trade well on those. Let's see on the 4 hour. See if we've got anything interesting on the 4 hour to show us. Did any 4 hour 9s pop up? 4 hour 9s are also pretty good in Bitcoin, I have found. See, we've got a nice 4 hour 9 there. A nice 4 hour 9 there, nice 4 hour 9 there. I don't know why I'm calling them nice, but nearly got one there. But yeah, so we have got nothing on the 4 hour here though, sequential wise. So that's all I'll have to say about that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at now, guys. I think it's going to take a gargantuan effort to now get us back up here and through this resistance. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I mean, I am a realist. I am a trader. I'm not just going to be taking longs hoping for this now. I'm going to be taking shorts, because that is looking to me like the trend. We are struggling. We are struggling with all these levels of resistance, like to overcome and hold above them. I mean, it's the same picture all the way through, isn't it? Since around 10k, we sort of couldn't quite hold above, came back down. And then sort of couldn't quite hold above, came back down, couldn't quite hold above, came back down, couldn't quite hold above, came back down, couldn't quite hold above, came back down. So there's a definite picture of struggling basically to hold support. So that's something that I think is definitely important to consider when deciding what sort of directional plays you will be going for now. This is I would be very surprised if we don't at least make our way down to, yeah, around the mid 7,000s over maybe this period of time. So the 7th of June, so that is basically 2 weeks. So over the next 2 week period, I'm expecting to move down to here. And yeah, then we just got to assess what happens here. Do we start making our way back up, building up through these resistances or not? It will remain to be seen. We can only play that as it comes in. We can only, as that data, as that information becomes available to us, we can then only make those decisions then, because that's again the Bayesian. Just Google it, guys. Have a look at it. Have a look at Bayesian inference model. That's how you should. That's how a trader should trade using those principles. You should basically, when you get gifted more information by the market on a continually updating daily basis, minute basis, hourly basis, 4 hourly basis, every bit of information that comes in then goes into your model, goes into your price factoring directional trend, where your basically your trading mind, your trading model, and that is what you then use to then try and calculate what is the most probable outcome from that point in time. So that's what you have to be doing. You have to be continually updating. You can't just have your preconceptions. I mean, you guys can probably see the difference between this video and yesterday evening's video, between being the bullish and being bearish. Being very bullish even here. I was bullish here. I was bullish here when we started to move up again. But now this has changed. It's flipped on its head, and I'm now overall bearish. What else can I say? I mean, I just looking at price action. at least I've proven to you guys that I'm not just a crazy moon boy. I mean, I may be wrong. Again, this is just based on probabilities. I'm just taking all the information I can and putting it into my model in my brain. My model that's basically just factored on just general experience in all sorts of markets, especially including crypto. But yeah, it's sort of telling me now that I don't think the upside is the most likely scenario. So again, it's probabilities. I may be wrong. You can always have the tiniest chance of something happening, and that can happen. So I do remember. Let's whiz back in time, and I will show you something that was a very small probability of happening. So we are here. Take ourselves back to October 1918 2018 October, right? So imagine this. We're here. We're looking bad. We are clearly in a descending triangle. Trust me, there's all the debate going on. I was balls deep in Bitcoin at this point. I was balls deep in Bitcoin way before this 20k run up. But anyway, at this point, I'm balls deep in Bitcoin. I'm telling everybody, this is a descending triangle. This is gonna break down. And look, and picture it. We're here. So we're getting our shorts on. We're getting ready for this drop. We're starting to move down. We think, well, this is it. This is looking like it, guys. We're looking like going sub 6k, and then bang, look at this move. This move basically nearly to $7,000, $6,800. This is a tether pump. This was based on some tether FUD, based on tether not being backed or getting into trouble. And then what happened was then people were then liquidating their tether into Bitcoin. So they pumped up the price of Bitcoin literally just in like one. This is obviously daily. This is in one day. So in one day, looking as absolute bearish as you like, bear flagging it out, ready to dump, and we go from 6,100-ish to 6,800-ish. So a $700 pump. And this was not the likeliest scenario. A $700 up move was not the likeliest scenario in this instance. And then just look what happened afterwards. The absolute catastrophic waterfall down of Bitcoin price. This was what was coming, and we all knew this. We all knew this. All around here. And for a long time, we knew this was coming. It was just a matter of trying to time it. And this looked like it. This looked like this was going to be it, and then bang. Anyway, so there we go. There's your little Bitcoin price history. And then we had a similar one. That we all know about with the China FUD. This one here. Look, we're looking absolutely as bearish as you like. As absolutely bearish as you like. Look, we're coming down. And guess what? We are coming down. We're coming down to around here. Obviously this is off the chart, but this is where we're going. If I scroll across, look, this is where we're going. We are coming down here, but look at this. Look, 7,400 to 10,500, guys. So what I'm trying to tell you is you have to trade what you think is most likely. But I mean, this is not just a Bitcoin thing. This can happen in any markets. The unexpected can happen. We can literally pump straight above here. Something can happen. Something can be said. Maybe Venezuela decides it's going to make Bitcoin its national form of currency, and that's it. Bitcoin's going to absolutely break through all this, trigger all the stops, and then onwards and upwards. You just don't know, but you just got to look at what is most probable, and that was what I went on for about the past 10 minutes trying to explain. So I apologize for anybody that listened through that and just thought, okay, we get your point down, I get it. But anyway, so remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you all guys in the morning.